What is it that makes the Bible unique? It has the reputation of accurately foretelling specific events in detail many years, sometimes centuries before they occur. Approximately 2,500 prophecies appear in the Bible, about 2,000 of which already have been fulfilled. The remaining 500 will be seen unfolding as the days go by. The following information will show some biblical prophecies that have been fulfilled, along with the probability of it happening by chance. The estimates of probability included come from a group of secular research scientists. After viewing the presented information, viewers are encouraged to study the presented material, as well as other unfulfilled prophecies, to see for themselves the precision of Bible prophecy. Starting with the prophecies of Christ, there are over 125 prophecies about the Messiah. We will just look at 4 of them along with its probability of chance. Around 500 BC, the prophet Daniel proclaimed that Israel's long-awaited Messiah would begin his public ministry 483 years after the issuing of a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. He further predicted that the Messiah would be killed, and that this event would take place prior to his second destruction of Jerusalem. Abundant documentation shows that these prophecies were perfectly fulfilled in the life and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The decree regarding the restoration of Jerusalem was issued by Persia's king, Artaxerxes, to the Hebrew priest Ezra in 458 BC. 483 years later, the ministry of Jesus Christ began in Galilee. Jesus' crucifixion occurred only a few years later, and about 4 decades later, in 70 AD, came the destruction of Jerusalem by Titus. The probability of this happening by chance? 1 in 10 to the power of 5. In approximately 700 BC, the prophet Micah named the tiny village of Bethlehem as the birthplace of Israel's Messiah. The fulfillment of this prophecy in the birth of Christ is one of the most widely known and widely celebrated facts in history. The probability of this happening by chance is 1 in 10 to the power of 5. In the 5th century BC, a prophet named Zechariah declared that the Messiah would be betrayed for the price of a slave, 30 pieces of silver, according to Jewish law, and also that this money would be used to buy a burial ground for Jerusalem's poor foreigners. Bible writers and secular historians both record 30 pieces of silver as a sum paid to Judas Iscariot for betraying Jesus, and they indicate that the money went to the purchase of a potter's field, used, just as predicted, for the burial ground. The probability of this happening by chance? 1 in 10 to the power 11. Some 400 years before crucifixion was invented, both Israel's King David and the prophet Zechariah described the Messiah's death in words that perfectly depict that mode of execution. Further, they said that the body would be pierced and that none of the bones would be broken, contrary to customary procedure in cases of crucifixion. Again, historians and New Testament writers confirm the fulfillment. Jesus of Nazareth died on a Roman cross, and his extraordinary quick death eliminated the need for the usual breaking of bones. A spear was thrust into his side to verify that he was indeed dead. The probability of this happening by chance? 1 in 10 to the power 13. The following prophecies are from the Old Testament. The prophet Isaiah foretold that a conqueror named Cyrus would destroy seemingly impregnable Babylon and subdue Egypt along with most of the rest of the known world. This same man, said Isaiah, would decide to let the Jewish exiles in his territory go free without any payment of ransom. Isaiah made this prophecy 150 years before Cyrus was born. 180 years before Cyrus performed any of these feats, and he did eventually perform them all, and 80 years before the Jews were taken into exile. The probability of this happening by chance? 1 in 10 to the power 15. Mighty Babylon, 196 miles square, was enclosed not only by a moat, but also by a double wall, 330 feet high, each part 90 feet thick. It was said by unanimous popular opinion to be indestructible, yet 2 Bible prophets declared its doom. These prophets further claimed that the ruins would be avoided by travelers, that the city would never again be inhabited, and that its stones would not even be moved for use as building material. Their description is, in fact, the well-documented history of a famous citadel. Probability of this happening by chance? 1 in 10 to the power 9. Jeremiah predicted that despite its fertility and despite the accessibility of its water supply, the land of Edom, today a part of Jordan, would become a barren, uninhabited wasteland. His description accurately tells the history of that now bleak region. The probability of this happening by chance? 1 in 10 to the power 5. Nowhere in the world can we find such proofs of accurately predicted future events. How would these mere humans have known these things unless a supernatural power had revealed it to them? The Bible has indicated time and time again that it is of divine origin. To argue with this would be a deliberate denial of historical facts. For those who insist on believing there could be another explanation, we challenge you to find it.